for the very first time had true transparency in government. If I'm elected to the board, and I expect that I will, it would be my intention that I will be very much involved in the day-to-day operations of the county to a larger degree than I have been even as a watchdog. So let me assure you, the public will know more about their government than they do today.
Good afternoon, Yuba Sutter. This is the Yuba Sutter Political Spotlight, and we'll be live for the next 2 hours. Before we get started, though, I want to give a shout-out to Holly Julian, who's in labor right now.
Yes,
and
my baby's coming!
And our buddy Travis Julian.
Jimmy.
I guess we can actually call him Jimmy now. Huh?
We can call him Jimmy now. He was Travis for a little while.
A long while.
I'm still calling him James.
Okay.
He's in our phone as Jimmy Travis Julian.
Yeah.
Anyways, they are having a baby today.
Aspen.
Yes.
Yes, little baby girl Aspen.
Yeah.
And Jimmy just got his HVAC contractor's license and is busier than all get up. Good. But I believe he's going to be taking a day or two off this time around.
Yes.
So Julian's Heating and Air, if you need an AC fixed, he's the guy to call.
Yep.
Good
he
guy.
is definitely the man.
Yeah, he gets it done, and like I say, it's day or night. He's going. I mean, it's from daylight till way past dark. But like I say, I think he's going to take 1 or 2 days
He
off.
needs a break.
Yeah.
And all of us in the booth here have a vested interest in the birth of little Aspen.
That's right.
Yes, we do. It's going to be 9 pounds, 2 ounces.
No.
It's going to be
8
8
pounds,
pounds,
6 ounces.
8 pounds, 3 ounces.
7 pounds. No. Yeah. 7 pounds, 6 ounces. Is that what I
I
said?
think you did, yeah.
7
Yes.
pounds,
And
6
Mary
ounces.
took 7.12.
Mary's got the official record of what we all guessed. So we'll have to double check. But I think
I'm just telling you, it's going to be 9 pounds, 2 ounces on 9.2. It couldn't get any better. That would be awesome if it was.
Yeah. So we got a wager going. We'll see what happens.
I'm not buying ice cream.
Yes.
I'm going to get the ice cream bought for me. That's how that's going to go down. So, wow. We have just about wrapped up all our candidate interviews for the Yuba Sutter Political Spotlight. And, it's shaping up to really be, I know there's a lot more people running, but it's shaping up to be a 5-way race between Dave Shaw, Mark Boomgarden, Stacy Brookman, and then your 2 followers of Stan Cleveland and Chuck Buck, or
John Buckland.
John Buckland.
A.K.A. Chuck Buck.
Chuck Buck and
Can Stan.
Yeah. And
Well,
then you got Daria and Grace.
Yeah, but do you think they...
That's 7, right?
Yeah, but and then you got Bradley Westmoreland, too, if you want to really get down in the weeds, but I think you're...
Man, I haven't even seen a sign for
And
him.
then there's Suk Sidhu.
Suk
So
Sidhu.
there's technically 9.
Yeah.
Suk, why won't you call us back? Dude,
Well,
come on.
it's kind of a moot
I think he's
point
a little
now.
late to the game because we're pretty well getting down to the
Nitty-gritty.
nitty gritty now. We kind of know where we're going.
From the
Not
way...
official yet, but
The way it looks to me after talking to them, it's a 5-way race. With the way they all talk and the way their signs are out and just the ones that are really in it, it's looking like a 5-way race.
Well, what's very sad about that is what's Grace going to run for next? Because
Well, that'll be the next. We'll know in 2 years what's next for her.
president.
yeah, she's going to run for president.
It's a crapshoot.
You might as well go big, Grace.
Go big or go home.
Yeah.
Go big or go home.
Maybe she's
And who
gonna
knows where home is? It keeps changing depending on
so-
what she's running for.
Yes.
maybe she's going to run for governor.
She might have to move to the swamp.
Well, then
To the big swamp.
she wouldn't have to relocate to run for governor, so maybe she'll do that.
Yeah. So don't know, but guaranteed she'll run for something.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
because she just
that's
wants to be something, right?
I want to be sheriff.
Stan wants to be something too, and he is a city councilman, and he doesn't do much of a job at it. But if Tom wasn't such an irritant, he might do a better job.
Yes.
Hey,
But,
our job is to be an irritant, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
right. It
I
is.
agree with that.
Yeah.
But the whole fact is you, sir, are just an irritant.
Yes. Yeah, I got that label.
Yeah.
Hang on, I have to
that was-
calm myself down. I have to shut my eyes. rub my ears, and calm myself down for a minute before I can talk to you any further, sir.
Oh, so you learned something from the Stan interview.
I did.
You learned.
Learned how to calm myself down.
That label was put on me forcefully. I'll have to say that. Forcefully.
Well,
I don't
And I
see
think
it.
without merit.
the finger
Yeah.
pointing and then the hand out. I mean, it was just awesome.
Yes, talk to the hand.
Yes.
I'm not
Yes.
going to talk to you about that.
Talk to the hand. That's what happened to me. Talk to the hand.
I never would have pegged you as an irritant.
No,
not at all.
Didn't Schwarzenegger crush that guy's hand in that movie when he said talk to the hand? Or no, he was the one that said talk to the hand.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is you were labeled an irritant.
Yes.
So unfair.
But then again, it was irritating just dealing with people if you talk to Stan, so anybody could be an irritant.
Yes.
I'm no better.
Yeah.
No, you were part of the problem there, Bill. You were part of the problem.
yeah, I think he said, and you too.
Yeah.
So we got 8 to 9 people running for 3 seats.
Yes,
Yes.
but like I said, I really think it's kind of whittling down to the 5
Yes.
is what I see. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just my own thought, but that's kind of what I'm seeing is it's whittling down to those 5 that are really in it to win it, that are really trying. And the only reason Stan and John Buckland are in it is they're incumbents. Otherwise, I don't think they're pushing hard enough to even have a seat. And I think one of them's going to get, I would almost guarantee one of them's going to get unseated. And that's going to be interesting.
Well, I'm thinking maybe both.
I hope so.
Yeah.
What is going to be interesting is, the shirts are, the artwork is done on the shirts. So it's official. There's going to be yellow shirts that say Chuck Buck and Can Stan. Or Can Stan and Chuck Buck. I forget how it went
I
down.
think it went Chuck Buck and Can Stand.
Okay. But yeah, John Buckland and Can Stan Cleveland. So that ought to be pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to getting the shirts and getting them out there and getting people in public wearing them.
Say that 3 times fast.
Chuck Buck can stand. Chuck Buck can stand. Chuck Buck can stand. Yeah. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? But anyways, it ought to be interesting. It ought to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to getting into the campaigns. We have our first fundraiser coming up from Mark Boomgarden. What day is it? The 7th?
7th of September.
Friday the 7th at 7 p.m.
Yes, our first local candidate fundraiser at the headquarters, at the Republican headquarters, 441 Bridge Street,
Yeah.
Yuba City.
We finally got a couple of signs we need to install. Open sign
Oh, yeah, we got an open sign. That is correct.
and a Republican headquarters sign.
We got the first open sign, and I tripped over it and broke it. And so now we got the second open
Are
sign.
you serious?
Oh, yeah. I thought, man, I need to unplug that. Somebody's going to trip over that. And I came back bebopping through the headquarters, and guess what? I tripped over it and broke it.
That's it. It's
you
done.
don't want to
Oh, yeah.
make him relive that experience.
That's
Oh, yeah,
it was a bad day.
I was a little fussy.
A
Just a little fussy.
If you break a neon sign, there's no putting it back together.
No.
There is
well,
no putting it back
the
together.
open still works.
Well, no, it doesn't. Oh, no, it doesn't. Once you break it, it's done.
Yes.
What was interesting, though, is after I broke it, we almost had a broke sliding glass door, too.
I know.
Oh wow.
I was a little irritated. I was having a stand moment.
Oh,
but that's
I
that's
thought you
whatever I
might have
learned.
tripped and almost fell through the sliding glass door.
No.
But no. This was a.
Yeah, that's where I learned from Stan. I just sat in my chair, closed my eyes, rubbed my ears, and go, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute.
Yeah.
And then I calmed right down, and it was all over and
Let
good.
me get in my zone.
Thought I was going to have to hold him
No.
down there for a minute.
Some guys' ears get bright red when they get angry.
That's what Stan was.
Yes.
He was rubbing out the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I do the old
So
blue
you-
saw. I learned that off of,
You need a heat sink. Right,
Yeah.
To take away that.
no, well, that's why you rub your ears. You rub the heat out of them. Blue
Yeah.
saw. I learned that on Bad Boys, that movie.
I've never had to, heat sink my ears
Yeah.
that I'm aware of. Now I think I've got them red hot a few times, but it's not very often in my lifetime anyway.
So we got a new open sign now, and Tammy's like, well, I like that open sign better anyways. And I'm-
Yeah, I like it. Looks classier.
Well, good. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
We're good to go there.
As opposed to the foot massage business a couple doors down.
I hear they do a booming business after dark.
After dark, that place is hopping.
Well, it makes sense because, if you're
I wouldn't want to see my own feet.
if you're on your feet all day long,
that's
that's the
right,
best
yeah.
time to get a massage.
right
Apparently.
at
Well,
the end of the day.
And not only that, but I'm sure they don't want to have to look at those feet. So, I mean, that would be the best time to do it is after dark. Then you ain't got to see the feet. All you got to do is rub them.
Yes, that's why.
Hey,
10:30 at night is like the optimal time to go get a foot massage.
Well,
it's nice being married. My wife did my feet this morning.
What a good wife you have.
Yes, yeah. So,
That is awesome.
I got a foot massage last night. So that was kind of cool.
yeah.
What'd you do? Rub it back and forth on a frozen water bottle?
Yep.
That's not a bad idea.
No, you freeze the water bottle and you roll it in the arch of your foot. Man, that really helps.
Yeah, I got one of those little foot scrubbers or foot rollers.
No, I don't have a
Yeah.
foot roller. I have a frozen water bottle.
It's got all kinds of different little wood things on there. Yeah.
I just got a frozen water bottle. I'm the cheapskate.
Hey, whatever works. If it works. You almost got a back rub, but you said it slipped back into place, so now you don't get a back rub.
Well, man, on the way over here, my back was hurting so bad I couldn't sit in her car. And I don't know what it is about that car. It's got those seats that grab you. Mm-hmm. And my back was hurting. And man, and then we went around a corner a little too fast and it slipped. And I'm like, hey, check this out. I'm good.
Yeah, that's good.
You start wiggling around. Oh, it's better. It's all good now.
I'm good to go.
We're going to have that fundraiser for Mark Boomgarden. What is the date on that again?
September 7th.
At 7
Coming
p.m.
Friday.
It's a Friday evening.
Friday evening.
Yep, Friday night,
And
7 p.m.
I did read an article in the paper about him running for city council this week. So
Good.
that was good to see. And got a sign on my fence. Now, we're almost out of his signs, if I remember right.
Yes,
need
we
to-
are.
Yeah.
We did get a
Replenishment?
replenishment of Brandon Barnes signs. And
Oh, good.
And we've got some yes on 6, repeal the gas tax.
And I'm
signs.
seeing those around town, too. So,
Now,
Did we get our John Cox signs
John
yet?
Cox sign, according to RNL Trucking, is coming in on Wednesday. So we'll have plenty of John Cox yard signs and bumper stickers. And we're open every night from 5 to 8, except for Sunday evenings.
no work on Sunday.
No,
Amen.
No work on Sunday.
Yes.
Got to have some personal time.
You know what I've done with my yard signs? I used to stick them in the yard, but now that I got so many that I'm supporting, my wife doesn't like it when she mows the grass.
Yeah.
So
Stick them in the
you
neighbor's
get that
yard.
now. My wife mows the grass for me, right? That's a good woman.
See, I still got a kid at home, so guess what?
Yeah, he's doing it.
He's doing it.
Good, and he should be.
So Tammy's not going to be able to mow the lawn for a while.
Yeah,
She'll get to. She'll get a chance.
the time will come. Okay, but
I don't think the
put-
vacuum cleaner cord reaches that far. It doesn't go out the door that far.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to use the vacuum. So what I've done is got those signs up out of my yard, and I put them on my fence. I've got a little short fence that runs between me and the neighbor.
It's kind of like the short bus.
Yeah.
Now,
Okay.
you got a permit from the city, right? Because they're...
I wasn't aware that we needed permits, being a free individual like I am.
Oh, well,
Oh, you're not. You live in the communist area of it's kind of like the Berlin Wall around Yuba City. So you live in the communist area of Yuba City, so you're not free.
I was actually reading about the Berlin Wall this morning a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I did a little research just for fun because this is Labor Day weekend. I did a little research on labor. So I typed in income tax, and I typed in labor, and I typed in plantation, like are we on the plantation? And what I found was very interesting that I think some of these good articles that we used to get are being censored.
Censored?
Yes, on the internet, because when I used to type in something like that, there would be a lot of articles that would come forward that would be of the mindset of what I was looking for,
Right.
you know. But now it seemed to be like I had to go,
You have to dig.
yes, way deeper down the rabbit hole, the internet rabbit hole, to find what I was looking for.
So were you using Google?
I was actually using Bing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I like to jump around, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? From
Duck-
Google to Bing to Yahoo to
DuckDuckGo.
I've used DuckDuckGo
they
before.
they don't track you at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got to get down to about page 57 to find something positive about Trump, right? When you do a search.
Yeah, on Google you do.
Yep.
So, you know, I thought to myself, Labor Day, okay? So we're celebrating
We're
what?
celebrating Holly's Labor Day.
Now, I'd rather celebrate that more than this Labor Day,
Yeah.
the typical Labor Day, because we're celebrating the all the people at work the way I get it, you know. But then I started thinking about all the plundering of the labor that's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as an employer, I'm paying in that income tax for the employees all the time. Not to mention matching Social Security and matching Medicare.
Yeah.
So,
State fees.
yeah. And I started digging into the plantation, you know, and reading about the plantation. And I've kind of come to the conclusion that we're still on the plantation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We might as well be. We're not a free society anymore by any means.
Because so much of our labor is being extracted for the plantation owner.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
that's what I got to say about
It's a sad
Labor Day.
story.
Happy
It is.
Labor Day.
Yep. Sad story in the state of California. Well,
You know, we went to church last night, Tammy and I did, and Pastor Dave was doing a sermon on entitlement. And it was pretty interesting on his spin on entitlement. I mean, it was about the same as mine, but, you know, and he really, Pastor Dave doesn't pull any punches, and he really doesn't care if people get up and walk out on a sermon. He just doesn't. But you could tell last night, I mean, he was really, I think he was kind of looking for people to walk out, because he was beating up on our young ones pretty hard about how, you know, there's a big sense of entitlement, and they need a break after their break because they sit around for 15 minutes. Now they need another break before they can go back to work to kind of get up and walk around a little bit and start getting back into the mood to go back to work. And he was just getting into entitlement. It was pretty good. I wish my son would have been there because, yeah, it would have been good for him to hear
we'll
that.
have to show him the recording.
Yeah, and make him watch it.
You got to sit there and watch this.
That could be cruel and unusual punishment right there.
Well, it was very timely for me, as happens so often. You hear the message that you need to hear at that
Yes.
moment in time.
Yeah.
So I was feeling
A
very
little entitled.
No, I was feeling very discouraged because the other, flip side of what he was talking about was the being servant-hearted, and every once in a while, I get down because you feel like you're putting forth so much effort and nobody cares and nobody else shows up, and you have a handful of people doing so much,
All the work.
all the work, and then the rest of the people, it's kind of like they don't care. And every once in a while I get discouraged, but I can't complain because I got to focus on.
You know what the answer to that is, Tammy? It's a scripture that says, "Whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as unto the Lord and not unto men."
Right.
You know what I mean?
I believe that was one of his passages last night.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So
I believe that was one of them.
doing
And then
what
there was
you
a few more.
what you know you need to do and you're compelled to do as unto God and not unto men.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and men do receive the dividend of it. So, years ago, I used to be upset because there were all kinds of unlicensed contractors competing against me, and you would call the contractors license board, and they never answer the phone. You know they never answer the phone at the Contractor State License Board. So, and I had to come to terms, and the scripture that helped me come to terms with it is Matthew 6:34. It says, take no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. And that last little few words, sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof, it let me know that there's going to be enough bad things to go around every day, man, and don't worry about it.
Don't sweat
Yep.
the small
Yeah,
stuff.
don't get upset about it. Just keep on track and do what you're supposed to do. And
So whenever you don't unplug the neon sign and you know somebody's going to trip over it, then you trip over it, you should have unplugged the neon sign.
that's
Just
fact.
unplugged it and been
Yes.
done with it. But
Yes.
No. Then you can't get mad about it.
Hey, so you just got to move on, right?
Yep.
It was painful, wasn't it? I think, I mean, because I saw you there dusting it off with a paintbrush and wiping it
check
down
it out.
with a
That
rag.
was the worst part about it, was having to deal with the Democrat that I got it from, and then having to clean his trash off of it. And then it wasn't the money that I spent on it; it was the labor that I put in to get it cleaned up and ready to go and hang it on the wall. And you know, I came down that night to hang it, and I didn't have a pair of tin snips or dikes with me.
Yeah. There's
Can you
dikes
say,
everywhere.
Can you say dikes on the radio?
Yeah.
They're a tool.
Hey.
But the story about
They are
when
a
you went,
tool.
wait,
Jason, dikes are everywhere. I'm surprised you couldn't find one. I mean,
I know. Well, you even went out into your truck and looked.
well, you gotta tell the story about when you went to go get this. So you bought it off Craigslist. The guy knows you're coming. He knows you're on your way
Well,
to
okay.
get the sign.
But on my own part, is I called him and I said I'd come down and get it. And one thing went to another, and we came out and did the radio show that day, and I called him and I said, I can't make it today. And he got, a little twisted. Well, I texted him. So then Monday rolls around. I said, hey, I'm ready to come get that. I'll come get it whenever you want. And he wouldn't text me back. So I had Bill text him, and he says, oh, yeah, I still got it, yada, yada, yada. So Bill calls him and says, okay, my brother's on his way to get it. And then Bill calls me and he says, you need to call this guy because he hasn't taken it down off the wall. And whatever you do, don't talk politics with him.
Don't talk politics.
And I'm
with
going,
him.
Bill, what did you say? Well, nothing really, but don't talk to politics with him. So now I'm going into the guy that already doesn't like me and going to get this sign from him.
But he doesn't know who you
He
are.
doesn't know who I am. But all I know is that I'm not supposed to talk politics with him. So I get there, and in true Democrat style, trash, crap, everywheres. I mean, literally, guys, whenever I went to get back in my truck from buying this thing, I had to wipe my feet off, my shoes off on my tires before I'd get back in my pickup.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's up on the wall still. So I give the guy the $40, and he's trying to take it down. I'm like, you know what? Just get out of the way. So I get up there, and I take the sign down, get it off the wall, and I'm leaving. And he goes, out of a Democrat's mouth, he says, I'm going to pray for your brother. Do you realize he's a Republican? And I'm going, you're a Democrat, and you're going to pray. Okay.
Okay.
Who you praying to? But no, I didn't say that. And he says, yeah, since Trump got in office, and I'm like, oh, good googly moogly, here we go. And da-da-da. And I mean, just ripping Trump one up way down the other. So I couldn't handle it. And I said, well, I don't get into politics. Because I wanted to leave, all right? I lied. I flat lied. He said, I don't want to get into it. But I said, more people are working. And he did the normal thing. That was going to happen anyways. In what lifetime?
Yeah.
In whose little world? Yours? So then he goes into how he hasn't worked for 22 years and he's got to move because he's getting evicted or whatever from his trailer park that he lived in that he was manager of, and yada, 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 yada. But he's praying for you, Bill, because you're a Republican. And apparently he can't go to his family get-togethers because people in his family are Republicans, and his son just bought a $6 million home in Hawaii and some other things. But
And he didn't wish his son well. What
No, he
kind
was
of
mad at him.
What are you? What is the matter with this guy?
But the whole thing is,
Probably not sharing.
Exactly. He wasn't sharing. You could tell by the trash in his house he wasn't sharing. Otherwise, he would have shared the, what do you call them, those guys that you have come over? The cleaning fairies.
Cleaning.
Yes. So, hey, I want to handle a little business here because I heard Lou on Live with Lou yesterday.
Yes.
Or not yesterday. I was
Yes.
listening to the week before
Oh, okay.
broadcast, and he wanted to thank whoever it was that left the Parmesan cheese here in the studio.
He didn't leave it in pizza.
Yes. And I just wanted to clarify that was not us.
No, we try and clean up our mess.
There's no trash following us.
Right. We clean
So-
our plates here.
Yes.
So, but no, I listened to Lou yesterday also. And, I really want to give him a shout out now that you brought that up. That guy always makes really good mention of us and really carries us along. We actually invited him to be on the show today because we're short one person. And he couldn't do it. He had another
Commitment.
Yes.
to go to. But I think we're going to have him on the show. I think it'd be fun to get him in here with all of us talking. And because he, honestly, he gets in a zone and he flat goes for it. He flat gets it on. And talking to the guy in public and seeing him, you would not think that he is that gung-ho and just here it comes. But I would really like to get him in the show to where we could all feed off of him and talk about some stuff. I think it would be very, very interesting. So we're going to try and book that one week here and get him on here and talk to him because I love Lou. He's just straight shooter, good guy, tells it like it is, and there ain't no more. Just tells it how it is.
I love listening to Live with Lou.
Yes.
And if I'm not swamped with things to do, I try to listen to Nate Black. He's been on the radio lately.
I haven't heard that. I know he took Andy's spot, correct? Did Andy?
No, Andy was on
Oh, was he?
Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Andy's
So
learned how to
every-
run the board now. Apparently, he
No,
can get on the air.
I think Santos was out here.
Oh, okay. Well, he got his job back with him then.
I think Andy had to eat some humble pie. A little bit of humble pie goes a long ways.
That's awesome. So, back to the city council race. Well, you know what? Let's jump into the sheriff race right now. I think that's a one-man race. After everything that keeps happening with Houck, the guy just cannot get any good publicity. It's only bad that he runs into. So that's enough. I'm gonna, unless you guys want to talk about it, I'm done talking about the guy. I'm done beating up on him. He beats up on himself more than plenty.
Yeah.
Every time he comes out and whines about, I'm being bullied or I got, what did he say? Battered.
he's battered.
Battered.
He's
in
been
public.
battered.
To me, he's using the language of the left,
Yeah.
and I don't care for that. I'm a language guy, and I don't like to use the language of the left. So the poor, battered, beat up guy,
And bullied and just,
Yes,
everything.
bullied and battered.
Everything he does, it's kind of like it just blows up in his face.
I'm almost 60, and I can't ever recall being bullied or battered.
I was bullied, and then I thumped my bully, and that was the end of that.
Yeah.
And then I've had my ass kicked a few times. I had it handed to me a couple of times even, but I've never been battered. I've never been
Yes.
battered. Never had to go to the women's shelter.
The only instance that I can recall was when I was in grade school and a guy kept sticking his pencil in my back in school,
Mm-hmm.
And I had a friend come up and clean his clock after school.
Mm-hmm.
I never asked him. I never. It just happened, and we became best of friends.
Yeah.
So
And I've seen
I didn't cry that I was being bullied. He just seen what was going on, and he decided to take matters into his own hands.
But you know what?
And his name was Mallory. Good old Mallory.
Mallory, you got to be tough with a name like
Have a
Mallory.
name like that?
Yeah.
That's as bad as Sue.
Yes, it is. You're going to be tough one way or another with
Yeah.
a name like Mallory.
Yeah, you never forget his name, Mallory. That was in Hawaii.
Mine was Andy Daigle. Was my bully. 2 black eyes, a broke nose, and a broke finger, and something else, and he wasn't a bully no more.
You had enough, huh?
Yeah, I had enough, and it was just that day. That was the end of it. And it's all she wrote.
I had another instance too, and I guess I'm just fortunate in this way. People want to step up and defend me. Now that we're talking about it, I recalled it, and that is, I was in high school, and this one guy kept needling me, and we were at a party one night, and he was pushing on me, and 2 Indian girls at the party just stepped in and beat the tar out of him, boy. Yeah. So
Wow.
he had to live with that for a long time.
I guess. I bet he's not telling that story.
I'm telling you, these 2 Indian girls knew how to scrap too. They just beat the tar out of them. So I got to be an observer there also.
Oh, but that was actually kind of comical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, I'm done talking about it. I mean, there's kind of no point. It really doesn't seem like he's even trying
No,
anymore.
it's down to a one-man race. I mean,
You really should just concede.
yeah, if he would just concede, it would save everybody. Oh, I don't know if it'd save any money. It'd save Brandon some money. He could donate some of his proceeds back. Maybe it would be kind of nice if he just conceded and succeeded, not conceded.
No,
he is conceded.
He already is conceded?
Yeah, he would succeed. Well, I don't know.
Secede.
Succeed. There we go.
I don't
That's
think
the way
any of those are the right one, but okay.
Yeah. But no, for
There's
me,
just somebody's
me,
hard there.
I want Brandon to work all the way through, man.
It's okay. I had to sit through training on Friday and listen to the guy say Pacific when he meant specific. And it wasn't like he did it once by mistake. No, he said it repeatedly. He was
Repetitively?
using the word,
Repeatedly.
oh my gosh, Pacific.
Repeatedly, he said it. Oh. So, anyways, sheriff race. I think Brandon Barnes is going to be it. I think he's going to be a good sheriff. But
He's going to be a good sheriff as long as we hold him accountable.
yeah,
Yes.
Well, I mean,
which
that's
is our
gonna be-
civic duty to do.
that's our job.
Yes.
That's our part. So,
Yes.
but no, I think he's going to be a fine sheriff. I'm looking forward to it. And now, the biggest thing now to me is the next one is the city council race. I mean, really, that's the next big thing, because I think Mike Ziegemeyer has. I think he's really pulling ahead of Paul Dawson.
He has got a strong campaign going now.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yep.
That's good to hear.
And that's District 3 Supervisor.
Here, speaking of that, let me play this real quick. I'm going to play an ad here. Well, maybe I am.
Yeah.
Hang on. I'm gonna try and play an ad here.
Heard you're going to try and play
Barnes
an
to
ad.
be your next Sutter County Sheriff. I've worked with Captain Barnes for over 20 years. Brandon is a graduate of the prestigious FBI National Academy. He was our former SWAT commander and chief of investigations, and now holds one of the highest positions in law enforcement as jail commander. He leads and manages a staff of over 80 personnel and an inmate population of almost 400. Folks, your sheriff is the top law enforcement officer in the county. Experience and character are critical. That's why 13 active California county sheriffs, including myself, endorse him. I am beyond confident that Captain Barnes has the skills, the temperament, and the vision to lead Sutter County. I believe this is the most important vote on your ballot. I encourage you to vote Brandon Barnes for Sutter County Sheriff.
Paid for by Brandon Barnes for Sutter County Sheriff 2018.
My name is Mark Boomgarden, and I believe in hard work, honesty, American values, and service to the community. Those are the values that have guided me in a lifetime of serving Yuba City as a firefighter, fire chief, businessman, and community volunteer. Those are also the values that have led me to run for council. This is not about fame, climbing the political ladder, or for money. At least, it's not for me. That is why I will not accept any benefits and will donate 100% of my city council pay to local charities. I will tackle wasteful spending, make fighting crime a top priority, bring new focus to dealing with the growing homeless problem, ensure better disaster preparedness, and invest in fixing our roads and water infrastructure. This is our city, yours and mine, so I will always listen and be accessible to you. That's why I've put my personal phone number on all of my campaign material. To learn more, visit markboomgarden.com. That's Mark with a C, Boomgarden with 2 O's, and two A's. This is Mark Boomgarden, and I approve this message.
Attention Yuba City voters. In just a few short years, the City Council has voted to increase our water, sewer, and garbage bills, and even started discussion on a sales tax increase. It's an out-of-control money grab. I'm Dave Shaw, a veteran, small business owner, and community volunteer, and I'm running for Yuba City Council. As a local resident for over 30 years, I'm the CEO of Shaw & Associates and an expert in wealth management, taxes, and accounting. I was voted Yuba Sutter's best financial advisor, and my firm was named the 2017 Small Business of the Year. As your councilman, I will move funds from administration to public safety and road repairs. I'll revisit the water and garbage rate increases, and I'll stop the dump because residents do not want a transfer station in the middle of town. And I will fight to stop giving pensions to council members. Remember, vote Dave Shaw for Yuba City Council. Proudly paid for by Dave Shaw for Yuba City Council 2018.
All right, we're back. I'm really excited about this election. I'm really, really excited because I really think that we have a chance to get some good guys elected. But I think even more so than have a chance to get them elected, I think they're the right people that can get the votes that it's going to take to get elected.
I think they're the right people at the right time.
Yes.
And,
To get things done.
you know, I'm a little hard to convince that you're the guy.
Really?
Yes.
Not you, Tom.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Irritator.
Yeah. I'm an irritator. But after meeting with both of these guys and talking to them one-on-one several times,
Tom
I am-
doesn't talk to them. He queries them.
Yeah, I like to give them some questions that are, make them squirm a little bit.
Tom backs them into a corner and verbally berates them. And if you don't think he does, that's why he got the name the Irritator.
But I am convinced that Mark Boomgarden means exactly what he says, is going to do exactly what he said he's going to do. Okay?
Yep.
And genuinely is concerned for the city and for the and to stop the rip-off of the people. And I believe the same thing about Dave Shaw.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's songs that we picked for him, like Mark Boomsgarden. I believe he's going to be a city councilman we can all be proud of. I really, really do.
Yes.
I do not believe he will rubber stamp anything that comes down the road. I think he's going to question everything, do his homework, and make sure that we're getting the best bang from our buck from the city staff.
And isn't that the right thing to do?
That's what the job is all about.
Yes.
And, you know, if I was city staff right now in Yuba City, I would be a little concerned about the way things have been going and about the way I've been doing my job. You guys have a chance. You guys got another 2 months to shape up and start doing your jobs like you know they should be done and treating it like a real job. Otherwise, I believe you're going to have some real hard questions to answer in about 2 months if you don't shape up right now. I think you better take that as a warning that, you know what, shape up or ship out now because it's coming, buddy.
You know, there's people or companies that buy other companies,
Yep.
and they go in and they trim the fat out, just lickety split. You know what I mean? And I think that's what needs to be done in every operation.
Well,
Trim out the fat.
and there's a lot to be trimmed at City Hall. I mean, you have a city manager and an assistant city manager. Come on. One of them can go.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, so come on. And what I think is awesome is Darren Gale got promoted to that new that assistant city manager job. So check it out. In a perfect world, they go in, they fire Jeff.
Not Jeff anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Steve.
Steve Krager.
The city manager.
Yep, can him, promote Darren Gale, give him a week to perform, then can him, and guess what? We're off to the races. We can get a brand new person in there. And so the promotion for Darren Gale may be very, very good because now, you know, he's promotable and an at-will employee just like that.
So in the private sector, okay,
Yeah.
as a superintendent on the job, you're doing a lot more than sitting in your office and crunching numbers, aren't you?
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah. You're hoofing it around the building all the time. You're overseeing every nitpicking thing that's going on that job site, and dealing with all the inspectors and on and on and on and on and on it goes. Okay?
You're the money guy. You're the liaison between the cities. You're the liaison between the contractors and I mean, it just goes on and on. Plus, your quality control for the whole job site. Plus, you're the safety control guy, because guess who OSHA comes to first?
Sure.
The first thing they do is make one loop around the job site, and then they come and plop in one of my chairs in my office and go, "Hey, this is what we found. How are you going to fix it?"
Yeah.
And I mean, so you're the man that's in charge of everything that goes on that job site. And you've got about 1 million bosses that you're trying to please, because I mean, you're trying to please the cities. You're trying to please the investors that you're at will of.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not keeping the city happy, you're at the will of your investors.
That's right. Yeah.
And then if you're not keeping OSHA happy, you're at the will of the investors. If you're not keeping EPA happy, you're at the will of the investors. If you're not keeping, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. You got EPA, you got air quality. I mean, it's just everybody.
You're not getting bored at work, huh?
Oh, no.
And you're finding plenty of things to do. Yes.
You don't got to look very far. If you're sitting down for more than 10 minutes, you're worried about what you're not doing because you're missing something.
Right.
So,
as a private employer, man, I'm doing the books. Now, it's a small business, so eventually, businesses grow. Some do, some don't. But if they do grow, then they're going to have people to do these other jobs. But as a small business, we got to do the bookkeeping, do the bidding, pay the taxes, collect the money, go to the bank, and then you got to mow the grass.
That's what Mary's for.
My wife does that for me. Clean the bathrooms, on and on and on and on and on it goes. There's no dead time.
No. If there's dead time, and I'm hiring some new guys, and they said, wow, when we get busy and get going, how much work is there going to be? And I'm going, if we're busy and going, that's our downtime. Once everything is moving along, we're good. Whenever the actual progress stops and stalls, then we're busy. Because, I mean, then you're trying to fix it, getting the machine going again. Whenever it's running like a well-oiled machine, you're just worried about getting the guys paid, keeping everybody happy, and, everything's moving forward. So you're
producing.
And you're getting production going.
Yes.
Once it's going, it's a machine, it's easy to keep going. But try and get it going and keep it oiled and out in front of you, that's a different story.
Yes. So it takes a lot of energy.
So, yeah, for the first time in my life, I'm going to be entrusting some superintendents and some other project managers to help me out on a couple of new projects I got coming, because it's too much. So it's going to be interesting to see, because I've always been ultimately the end all, the beginning and the end of it, and just had to deal with my sub. So it'll be kind of interesting, these new projects that I got coming on, but they're just too big for one man. So we'll see.
No matter what, you won't be out taking a 4 or 5 hour lunch.
No.
Yes.
No golf trips.
Yeah.
No 4 or 5 hour lunches.
No nice long naps during the day.
No. But I have been known to take about 10 minutes every once in a while.
Yes.
Because sometimes you start at 4, you get home at 4. So, yeah, I've been known to take a snoozer every once in a while. Somebody comes in my office, and I'm like, whoa, I was awake.
And that's really not a snooze. It's a power nap just so you can keep going, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I've been there and done that.
So.
I don't recharge that way. I don't know how you do. But you do.
Sleep on command.
Yeah. People, I don't know. I think it's a difference between a man and a woman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Because my wife can't do that either.
Because I can catch 5 or 10 minutes
I can
while
go
I'm
like
driving.
that, and you can catch 5 or 10 minutes while you're driving.
No problem.
Used to do that. Didn't work too good.
Oh, my.
So, anyways, we were talking about Brandon Barnes. I think he's going to be a fine sheriff. I really like some of the stuff he has to say. And, I know he's caught some flack about saying, that he wants to shoot and have a field day with some of the people carrying their CCWs. I'm actually really looking forward to that. I hope I get an invitation. And, he made it very clear that it was an invitation. That's all it is. If you don't want to go, don't go. But how cool to be able to go shoot with the sheriff and talk to the sheriff that's issuing your CCWs, get a spin on his take on it. What an awesome day to ask questions about self-defense. What would he see as self-defense,
Yeah.
And I look at it as, man, what an awesome time to be out there and talk to the sheriff and talk to some deputies about what their idea is and when they would use deadly force, and just to get a spin on some of this stuff. Because a lot of the time you go to your CCW class, you qualify with 50 rounds, you get the gist of the law kind of regurgitated spit at you, and then you're carrying a gun. I think it'd be awesome to be able to go out with these guys and get some real training and get some real education from the guys that are doing it every day. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, and the law is the law that is unconstitutional.
Exactly. But
Yes.
it would be nice to go out with the sheriffs and just see what they think and see what the sheriff has to say and talk to some deputies about it. I think it'd
And
be
help
fun.
guide them along
Sure.
in the ways of the Constitution.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
it could be training day if you bring Tammy along. She can be like, oh, that isn't what that means.
Well,
About the
when you say in
Constitution.
the same sentence that you believe in the Constitution, you believe in the Second Amendment, and then the same sentence say, and I'm, a CCW permit supporter, okay, that's a contradiction.
Big time.
You don't need a permit to carry a weapon,
That's right.
according to our Constitution.
That's right. Yeah, it's God-given inalienable right that was outlined
Right
in our
to defend yourself.
outlined in our Constitution.
Well, see,
You bet.
that's the nice thing about most of the Democratic Assembly people. They don't believe in God, so
Yes,
you have no rights.
right. The God is the state.
Yes.
For a lot of these guys. But I did, I put out an email actually to Brandon Barnes' campaign site, and he responded to it. So one of the questions I posed to him in my email was, would you be interested in having your deputies attend a Constitution class? And so his response was yes, that he would be.
Yeah.
So, and what could be wrong with that?
No,
Nothing.
exactly. That's awesome. And that's what I mean is the guy comes up time and time again with the right answers and getting out in front of stuff. And you can't get lucky all the time. He knows, he's living it, and I think he's telling the truth, and I think he's really, I don't think he's telling the truth. I've talked to him enough to know that he's standing behind what he says, and he's doing a good job. I like the man. I really, really do.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be blessed to have him.
Now, I believe that we're all partially a product of the education too that we have.
Yeah.
Okay. So him being in the employment of the sheriff's department for all these years and having the federal influence and the state influence and all that, so he is influenced by that over time.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just like the school system, they don't get the proper influence. So we're trying to countermeasure that with some good, honest history and some good, honest teaching about our constitutional rights and stuff like that. And prayerfully, we'll be able to see our sheriff mold into the right direction as a constitutional sheriff, because that's what we ultimately need.
Yeah.
Are public servants that want to serve the people and defend their constitutional rights. So I believe we will have that opportunity with Brandon.
I do too.
We would like
really
to
do.
see 58 counties with Sheriff D'Agostini in them.
Yes. Yeah, D'Agostini is an El Dorado County sheriff, and he has set a great example.
Has stood in the gap more than once.
Yes.
I think he stood in the gap now 3 times of the people in the federal government.
Yes,
And that is awesome.
right.
And so you pair Brandon Barnes up, and then you have, Dave Shaw and Mark Boomgarden, who I believe will stand in that same gap. Isn't it interesting when we have these, we have these meetings with these candidates that they don't even know what the job is that they're applying for.
Yeah, we had
They
a
don't
number of
understand
those.
that their job is to secure our rights. That's their main job as a government employee or a government elected person. They don't even understand that.
Yes, most
So
of them don't.
how are you running for that office? Now, not Dave Shaw, he's the exception, and so is Mark Boomgarden.
Yes.
But they also went to
And
Tammy's class. We'll see if we can get Tammy to cry here.
You know, don't you dare. You know, Stacy was one of the few that could.
I know, and we got to go to break here in just a minute, but I want to come back and talk about
No.
Stacy because I was absolutely, as Liz put it, picking myself up off the floor after talking to that guy. I already had a preconceived notion.
We didn't know anything about him, really.
No, but I just had this preconceived notion that I wasn't going to like the guy, that he was from, the sheriff's department, but, and now running for city council. And I had kind of the same idea of that I had with Mark Boomgarden.
That's the same. I was just going to say that. I had that preconceived idea with Mark, being that he was a fire chief and a city employee.
Exactly, and I had the same feeling with this Stacy Brookman, and wow, what a put together guy. I mean, he's a little rough around his edges, but I liked that about him. That's one of the things that I actually liked about the guy was he's a little rough. And he doesn't speak real well. Whenever you push on him a little bit, he kind of gets stumbled up, but that's okay. That's a learning curve. I would much rather have somebody that we can, that will say what he believes and where he stands.
Yeah, it's
then
called being real.
Forthright.
Exactly.
Yeah, not
So-
polished.
So we just got a little time. Are we getting any live updates on our baby
no,
to be?
I've not gotten an update on the baby.
Text them.
Yeah.
We'll do
Well,
that
they're
during the
kind of
break.
busy, but I'll
We'll
text
do
them or
that
call
during
them
the
on
break.
break.
We're going to take the break, and we will be right back in 2.5 and 2.5.
With the baby watch.
With his comrades in
Check out the Territorial Dispatch. Papers are weekly and can be obtained free at distribution or by mail through subscription. It's the only locally owned and operated newspaper in the region. The paper is the rest of the story. And also check out the E-Territorial. It's an online version of the Territorial Dispatch which features local news and events for the Yuba Sutter, Colusa, and Nevada County areas. You'll also find daily and breaking news updates, current traffic, and weather information, along with a calendar of local events. Visit the E-Territorial at eterritorial.com.
All right, we're back. So we were talking about Stacy Brookman before the break and how shocked we were whenever he actually came in and met with us about what was going on and his run for city council. And like I say, it was kind of the same thing with Mark Boomgarden, kind of the same mentality, kind of the same expectations we had. And I guess to our own demise, we need to stop having those expectations when we interview these guys, and start just interviewing them more. And, but it goes to show the mindset whenever somebody says they work for the city or the county or something that we all kind of get into anymore of, well, you're used to not doing anything for your money because that's kind of how it's slung to us anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's an over-exaggeration, right? To a point. We know that there are a lot of people that do a good job and work hard at this. A lot of it has to do with their own
Yes.
work ethic.
It does.
Yeah,
It very, very much so does.
And if they have a poor work ethic, they can get away with it easier in the public sector.
And that's one of the big things. If you have a good work ethic, I think you're gonna continue it on even at the city or county level. But the fact is if you don't and you get a job there, you don't have to perform and still can have a job.
Yeah.
That's the distinction.
Yep.
Yes.
And that's a good point Tom made, because that is very true. Because I know I wished I could get you doing my stuff all the time at the city, honey.
I know.
And it kind of sucks because I know, she comes home and tells me the stories about how she jumped through the hoops for an architect or worked with an engineer, and I'm going, really? Why don't you put on a class for some of the people at your office then? Because that isn't what I get whenever I go down there. Now there are a few, and I got to where I call the lead building inspector, Paul Clayton, or the main guy down there, Josh Pino. I'll call them directly now and just go around the whole department basically, because there's no need in dealing with them.
Yeah. So a lot of it definitely goes back to the person's work ethic.
Yeah.
And I know girl I used to be at the gym with, she's there every morning at 5, right? That right there tells you something about her.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. They're willing to get out of the bed. And
that tells me she's not going to fit with the new school bill that has to be signed, where it's going to make it, you can't start school before 8:30 in the morning.
No kidding?
Yeah.
That's almost lunchtime for me.
I know.
Yeah. You can't start school before 8:30.
What?
Yeah, this is a new
Read
bill.
your mail. I just sent you Harold Kruger put a synopsis of the bill on.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! So now we're gonna feed your kids breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but don't get up before 8 o'clock in the morning.
That's the nanny state, man. The big time nanny state. So I'll just put this out there this is my own personal perspective on the school situation, because we got focused a lot on city councils and county supervisors and the governor's race and on and on. So I decided I'll just do a little drive around this morning. I went to church and I was on my motorcycle, and I decided, well, I'll just take a loop around the district office, the school, Sutter County Superintendent of Schools office. Okay, I heard they have a lot of cars out there and stuff. So, I think it wasn't as many cars as I thought, but it was probably about 30 cars there. And from what I'm beginning to understand is that they don't oversee as many kids as most people think. You know what I mean? Because you have they oversee and try to help some of the smaller school districts, is what I'm gaining understanding of. Okay, and then they have the troubled kids. They have the it's called the Feather River Academy, and that's right down there by Sam's Club and Lowe's in that area. So I've been debating, personally, whether I wanted to put up a sign for either of the two that are running for office, Russer, who we know is a liar, and Val Dillon, okay? And I've kind of come to the conclusion that we don't need either of them. That's what I think, man. We don't even need that office. So I just think it's another government-run operation that really doesn't even need to be in existence. That's Thomas Burns' thoughts on the matter.
And I would agree with you, but the problem is we're going to get one
right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's the whole issue, and I think that's something that really needs to be addressed. Is if they're only taking care of the special needs kids, whether they're bad special needs or just special needs. I mean, because anymore, that's a special need, is if you're a kid that can't get along in society, then you're a special needs kid. But either way, it's something that does need to be dealt with, because do you know what they make a year?
Oh, big money. Yeah, I believe about 160.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think the subject came up the other day when I was with somebody. There was complaining that the substitute teachers were only making $450 a day. I thought that $450 a day, that ain't bad, man. What are you crying about? So, yeah, a lot of money being made, and to me, it's just another government entity that is wasting, that's eating out our substance.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
It's eating out our substance.
Because one way or another way, we're paying for it.
Yes. Yeah. And so that's where I land on the matter, and just got to grin and bear it, I guess. At this point, we're going to grin and bear it.
I would beg to differ just a little bit on what you had to say, because we know the way the Constitution was set up is that local control is what was intended on all of these matters that are supposed to be in the jurisdiction of the family. So you want your local control over education as opposed to the federal Department of Education, which has no constitutional bearing whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I believe there is a place for this Sutter County Superintendent of Schools. I believe they have a constitutional function, and I recall Bal did a really good job of educating us as to what the role of that county office was, in contrast to our interview with Tom Rooser, who didn't seem to understand at all what the role of that office was. He didn't really understand. He did not convey to me that he understood what job he was applying for. And having spoken with Bal, she did a really good presentation. She kind of laid it out, and this is the role we play. I recall there being a number of services they offered, like business type services, and they do not directly oversee all of the students in the county, but they oversee the districts. And so there is a much smaller number of students they directly oversee, but with them being kind of overseeing aspects of the operation of the districts, but then also they've got their adult education, the Sutter County One Stop, and there's a number of vital functions that I think that are good that they control. But I think we need that interview that we had with Bal was very beneficial to us, but unfortunately we were just a handful of people. She needs to be able to make that presentation to a larger scope of people to kind of educate everybody as to what the role of that. And I'm not saying this to, convince you that, you need to support Bal, because it's okay that we don't all agree, which is totally fine. That's why we can have debates with each other and nobody gets offended and throws their toy down and runs out of the room.
You just missed it. I threw my toy down already. I'm not leaving yet, but I threw my toy down
already.
Yes. No. Hey, and I'm happy to engage in that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I like it, but I'm still not convinced.
You're not convinced.
The one thing that I did take away from whenever we interviewed Bal was the one thing that I really liked was when we all hit her up about the curriculum, because we all agree we don't like the curriculum. Mm-hmm. And she sat across from the table from us and said, there's nothing I can do about that. What you need to do about it is you need to go down to the state at the beginning of the year, and whenever they go to do this, and whenever they start interviewing for the curriculum, and you need to put up what curriculum you want and get it through the state level and get it passed. And I like the idea that she's running for an office, and she could have totally just said, well, I can work on that. She didn't. She said, I don't have control over that. This is how it's worked. This is what you need to do to change it, and put it right back on us to change it. Because the fact is a lot of people say, well, that's, she escaped out of the question. No, she gave us a true answer to the question of how it works, why it works, and what we need to do to change it. That's one thing. That's what I took away from that whole meeting, because I still don't understand the job, but I took that away from that meeting, and that's the one thing that I keep coming back to, as opposed to when we asked Tom Rooser the question about Dirty Wit and what went on with Jim Whitaker. And he goes, oh, yeah, he isn't working on my campaign. I don't like the guy, da-da-da-da-da. And we asked him point blank, is he your friend? No. Is he working on your campaign? No. And guess what? Pretty plain and simple. He could have said, yeah, he's my friend. He's been my friend a long time. I don't agree with what he did or what he's been accused of. But he didn't. So that's my deciding factor on the two. I feel like if we got to have one and Val gets in there, at least we're going to get a straight answer from her.
Now, I do believe that she said exactly what you just said, and that's true, and I did like that too. Okay, because she pretty much said it is our responsibility as the people,
As citizens, yeah.
yes,
Parents.
yeah, the people to push for the curriculum that we want to see. Okay, we don't want to leave it to the homosexual agenda to push the curriculum for the kids.
Right.
Exactly.
Right?
And she was totally on board with helping us do that and telling us how it worked and everything else. So that's the two things that I took away from the meetings, and that may be the total wrong things to take away from it, but that's what I took away from the two.
Yeah.
And so that's why she's got my support, is just that she was honest with me, straightforward with me, and I don't understand the job, and I think you're right. It's probably a job that's really not needed. I think our school boards could do a fine job of managing themselves, and, I think it could work.
See,
But the fact is just we're going to have one.
Well, that
Right.
was the unification aspect of everything. We have to unify.
Yeah.
Unify, get all these groups together because we can buy it cheaper.
Oh, yeah. Sure we can.
You know, just as an aside, all those of you that play the lottery and are proud of having the lottery donate $1.5 billion to the schools last year, the general fund took away $1.5 billion from the schools because they don't allow them to recapture that money.
Because they don't need it because they got a $1.5 billion donation from the lottery.
That's right.
So you're
That's
basically
politics,
the
Yeah.
general fund's donating it to itself.
Yes.
Because they can rob it from somewhere else.
yeah.
That's
But-
awesome.
playing the politic game. So, because I was wrestling, with I already told you about the signs I got
Yeah,
on my
exactly.
fence, and I was wrestling with whether I want to put her sign up or not. And right now, I have it temporarily down. Okay,
Yep.
so that's kind of where I landed this morning. I don't see the need for the big apparatus that we have there. So
Yeah.
I think it can be probably trimmed in half, with and I think that about most government agencies. It could all be trimmed in half.
I think that's probably true of all government agencies.
And I think
They
that's
can be
probably what's
severely
going to have
trimmed.
to happen, too.
Yeah.
Because
And I have to keep going back to that.
when we've got people in the county and the city getting paid more than the governor of the state, something's screwy.
Yeah. And I've heard a little bit about, there's always politics going on in all these agencies.
Yeah.
Okay. And I even heard that one of the people in the Yuba City Unified School District.
Aspen is here! Aspen is here!
Baby watch!
Oh, yes!
The baby is here.
Man, I thought we had an incoming.
I did too. I was getting ready for the boom.
Welcome
Yeah.
aboard, baby. You got a hard, long ride.
So we had little Aspen
So
born.
it looks like I'm going to Sacramento after the radio show.
You mean the
Of
baby's
course.
born in
Have we got to
Sacramento?
wait?
Yeah. Would
I
you
didn't-
trust it to ride out?
Oh, I thought it was in town.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't have my baby at ride out. I'm sorry. I guess I'm not having a baby and I'm not capable of having a baby. But the fact is, if I was, I wouldn't have it at ride out. If Tammy was
yes.
pregnant right now, yeah, we wouldn't be going there.
Yeah.
We played that game once already.
So, thank God we still got personal choice in some matters out there, right?
Some,
Yeah.
But not all.
A few.
Yes.
because whenever Tammy needed an ambulance ride, they had to take her to ride out.
Yeah.
So we self-transported the second time around.
Yes. And so, congratulations.
Congratulations.
to
Holly and Jamie.
Holly and James
Yep.
with the little baby girl. And we got to know as soon as possible how much that kid weighed.
Yes,
right.
we need the weight. We don't care
Yeah,
that she's here.
that-
We need the weight.
That's the bottom
Did you
line
text
for
him back
us.
about the weight?
I asked for some stats after my congratulatory comments.
Yes. Yes. 9-2.
Oh, I want to leave right now.
So
You got another 30 minutes, honey.
so anyway, back to the school district thing. That's where we are.
I'm laughing at Tammy. She can't. Back to the school board. Okay,
Yes.
or the school, whatever it is.
Yes.
Whatever one that is.
Superintendent of schools.
Yes.
So it's top heavy. There's no doubt about it. A lot of people getting paid huge money for doing very little.
Yes.
And that's a fact.
That I
So-
would agree with. That's a true
Yeah.
statement.
So trim the fat, man. We need the fat trimmed. And I just cannot see that happening, because the way things are nowadays, it's we get all this money and we got to spend it all. So we get our allotment next year.
Exactly.
Right? And then also beg for a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
Spend
that's
it
my
all.
opinion on it. Where are we moving to as far as
Idaho.
Yeah. Let's move to Idaho.
John Missler.
Yeah, John Missler. I want to say something about.
You know,
On
I
that-
heard that his sign, his new write-in sign on his old signs that he plastered one up there says perfect. Can see it nice and big and bright.
Good. So he's the write-in candidate and the man for the job. I really like what was said in his commercial that you played earlier that says, what if for the first time you had transparency in government?
True transparency.
Yes.
Yeah.
True transparency. Hang on.
Yeah, that was a wonderful statement.
Let me play that again for him because I really like that song too that I have opening with it. Here we come.
Okay.
If you for the very first time had true transparency in government, if I'm elected to the board, and I expect that I will, it'd be my intention that I will be very much involved in the day-to-day operations of the county to a larger degree than I have been even as a watchdog. So let me assure you, the public will know more about their government than they do today.
Hey, that's got to be some of that music from the 80s, right?
No,
No? Oh.
that's from like recent.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, Tammy found it. It's very recent music.
Okay. Usually, if it's not from the 70s, I need an interpreter, man.
Well, he says, "Can't you hear the drums? There's a revolution coming."
I got that part.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it reminds me of, remember when we were coming down the river with all of us on the kayaks? We were going by the homeless camp. We all started beating on our kayaks really loud. The war drums are coming.
You guys had how many kayaks did you have that day?
I don't know. There was a
lot.
bunch. Because we had all ours in the water, and Tom had all his in the water, and then other people had their own, and we had a lot of guys that day. That was a good day.
One good instruction, if you're going down the Yuba River and you're going to portage around the dam, okay, the Garra Point Dam, go to the south side of the river.
Oh, yeah, you have
Yes.
to go to the south
yeah,
side. There's
yeah.
no way around the north
Yeah.
side, hardly.
Yeah. It's just too tough to portage around the north side.
I'll tell you what, and if you go around the south side, though, you better have some ropes.
Yeah.
Because you're lower. You gotta
Hey.
pick up some pulleys and stuff to lower your
we
kayak
had to
down.
lower ours down with
Yeah.
ropes and everything. I mean, it was like a major mission.
But it was fun.
Yes, it was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
But the best thing, man, is a set of wheels,
Yeah. I
kayak
agree.
wheels.
Yep.
Kayak.
Yeah.
You know what the best thing is just to
Just
stop.
go over the dam.
No,
Oh.
just stop right there at that Hammond Grove and then run back up and do the good
Do
good
it
water again.
Yes, there's
That's
a good
the
idea.
best one
Yes.
because all the good water's right there between
Yes.
Hammond Grove and
Believe
and
me, I've
Parks
seen
Farm.
it from on top and I've seen it from underneath. Yeah.
And you know what's funny is that point just before you flip, you know you're going and there's no coming back.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. And
And
my little doggies went down with me a few times
Yeah.
on that rough water. But she's a trooper.
And you might as well forget trying to flip it over right then. Just hang on,
No, you gotta ride it out.
Just ride it out
Yep.
because you ain't getting back on.
That's right.
It's a mess.
And you're going to take some bumps and bruises.
Speaking about that, Aspen's mom went down that one time. I didn't go on that
Yes.
trip, but I heard she about drowned.
She got caught in some thickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scared us all half to death.
Yeah, I wasn't on that one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we've had a lot of fun on those kayaks. We didn't get to go this year. We need to. It's a little cold now, though.
You know why? We've been working our butts off.
That's true.
That's why.
That is true. The work is back.
Thank you,
Yes.
Mr. Trump.
Yeah.
Feast or famine?
Aspen has a good future because of Trump.
Yes. How much does she weigh?
They must be really busy. I've not got a because I want pictures. I want it all.
I think Holly's just sleeping. That's what I think. Because they went in last night.
Yeah.
So if she was just born, that's
Well, it could be like you said too, Jason. You said you thought the baby was going to be 35 pounds.
I did. Well, did you see the size of Holly? Looked like an easy
so
35 pounds to
if
me.
it was a 35 pounder, I imagine she's sleeping.
I'm telling you.
That girl's wore out.
I'm telling you. We went out to dinner with them. What was it? Friday night?
Friday night.
Friday
yeah.
night. We went out to dinner with them just before they were going to go in. And we took some belly pictures.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I don't think you better publish those, man.
She looked adorable.
She looked
Now,
adorable.
when you
She
say
looked
we took
huge.
some belly pictures, does that mean your belly
Uh-huh.
and her belly? Oh,
Well, it was
yeah,
kind of like a
everybody's
group belly shot.
Oh, okay.
Everybody was pooching out their belly.
I didn't have to pooch mine very far.
Yeah.
Jason won, and he didn't even try.
Well, I didn't even have to try. But no, I think she could have had a 35 pounder, no problem.
Yeah. So there's just Holly at dinner.
Oh, yeah. Oh, where did I put my glasses? Oh, my.
She has a.
Yeah, she's full.
She called it a giant basketball in her tummy.
See, now you're thinking your guess on the weight isn't so good, huh? My 9.2
Oh,
is
man,
looking pretty good.
I'm thinking I'm right on the money.
No way, man.
Yeah, 8.6. We'll
No,
find out
that
here.
9.2 is looking pretty good.
We did the restaurant crawl that night.
Yes, we did.
We had a 5-hour dinner.
No, we had a 3-hour dinner and then a 2-hour dessert.
Okay. Yeah.
So we will have to get the weight because this is going to go down posterity for that little girl.
Yes.
Yeah, now back to John Missler.
Yes.
Okay. I like what he said also about how he's going to be even a better watchdog than he's already been. And the fact is, the newspaper that he has, the Territorial Dispatch, okay, it's a delight for me to read that because I feel like when I'm reading that I don't have to worry about what's been left out.
Yeah.
Like when I'm reading the Appeal Democrat or how the words have been twisted.
Well, it is
You
the
know.
Appeal Democrat.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a fact,
so
yeah.
there you go. I mean, that says a lot for it right there.
I've heard it called the appalling Democrat.
Well, just
I've
the
heard
word,
a number of
just the word Democrat in there. I mean, that tells you a lot
It
right
used
there.
to be fairly conservative back in the day.
I've heard it called a filthy rag. So,
What'd you get?
It was from Lori.
Are they on their way down right now?
No, she was just wanting to know. I didn't text her. I was too busy texting
Wow,
back Jimmy.
really? You're just trying to hold off so you're the first one there. I know
Yeah,
what you're
I'm
doing.
not. You know what? I'm not going to reply because I can't leave for 30 minutes. And dang it, she cannot beat me to the hospital.
Well, maybe you could ask her to come by and get you, and then I could drive down and pick you up. I gotta go.
Please, we need some air transport for Tammy.
Lori, you should have been listening to the radio show. You would have known Aspen's here. But I'm going to get there first.
Wow. Alrighty then.
So also, I think John Missler has a pretty good grasp on what's going on with the water in Yuba County.
Yes. Well, I was looking for that because what brought that up on that radio ad? I mean, on the Watchdog and the Territorial was Alton Wright. That was at a forum they had, and Alton Wright said, that's going to be like. I wish I could have found it, but it was going to be like a state-run media because he was going to have one of the newspapers and da-da-da-da-da, and that's what provoked that response from John Missler. Was I would agree with you if there was only one paper, but the fact is there's two newspapers,
Right.
and so you're going to get the legit out of this one anyways. But that's what prompted that pushback on the newspaper deal, because Alton Wright said, well, that's going to be like state-run media if you get elected. Well, no, but
We already have state-run media,
Exactly.
man. Come on. Alton Wright must be in the tulips if he doesn't realize that. Or in the marijuana plant. He's out in the marijuana plant. But yeah, I believe John has got a good grasp on what's happening with the water. And I think the water situation is so critical for the public to stay aware of it and what's happening with it, okay? Because, like I said, I believe their plan is to raise the water rates and continue to say less consumption, and send it all out into the ocean. It's unbelievable.
you're just an irritator.
I'm an irritant.
All I hear was wah 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 wah.
That's for you, honey.
That's because all I can think about is the baby.
I know. It's a crazy
So
train.
we all sound like Charlie Brown's teacher to you?
Yep.
Right now, because all I can think
Yeah.
about is the baby.
She's literally jumping up and down in the chair.
I'm not jumping, I'm bouncing.
Well, whatever.
Well, we don't have no statistics, man. The guys need statistics.
That's right. We
Exactly. We
live
need
on
to know the weight.
statistics.
Just
Yeah.
well,
Drop whatever you're doing. Have the doctor call us if we can't get through to James, so we can get these stats out on the radio.
wow.
I'm telling him to put the baby down and text me back. Because we need to know.
Exactly.
She's coming for you, Jimmy. You better behave.
So, Bill, you said we're. What's the due date on these yes on Prop 6 signs?
We've got a few. We've got a few yard signs. Yeah,
but you said.
that
you-
was Cox signs are
Yeah.
coming in on
John
the,
Cox.
Yeah, on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Don't know what time. I've
Yeah.
got to work, so I'm gonna have to try and get somebody down there.
But we will be there from 5 to
5 to 8.
Oh, you
in the
need
evenings,
someone to pick them up at the where?
They're delivering them to the headquarters.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. Yeah. Uh-oh.
We can get somebody to man it because I think we're all at work.
I see Jason's on the red phone.
Yes.
Oh my God!
I think that's so cool, that phone in there. I wonder
He's probably calling
where
the
that
hospital.
came from.
Would be cool, but he's not answering.
Oh, you were going to get James live on the air, huh?
Yeah, if
Yes. But
he could answer his phone, I would. We'll get the poundage.
hey,
All I'm worried about. Ice cream.
he's not going to answer. So the yes on 6 signs, how many do we have of those?
Dozen.
A dozen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we really need to see that repealed. And, I mean, our DMV fees, out of control. I'll bet you at least $8,000 or more in DMV fees for our vehicles
Yeah. Oh yeah.
this year in our little operation.
It's pretty outrageous.
Well, they don't want to hurt the poor. I mean, they're all for the poor and the disadvantaged, yet everything they do, everything they pass, everything fee initiated hurts the poor, hurts the businessman, hurts California. These guys are idiots. Hello, idiots in the Assembly and the Senate in the state of California. That would be mostly Democrats, although,
Yeah, a few rhinos.
yeah, a few rhinos, but you know, you guys really got to get a clue. You should get out and understand what it takes to run a business, because what a government is not a business.
I was thinking, because I'm typing in that plantation. Okay.
Yeah.
What if we have never left the plantation?
Yeah.
Right?
We briefly
What-
left it.
What if we're still in bondage?
Yeah.
Okay. And our servitude is still
To the state.
compelled from us against our will. what if the apparatus that has been set up, I mean all the government agencies,
Hey, Jimmy, hang on 1 second.
to eat out our substance.
All right, Jimmy, can you hear me?
So looks like Jason's trying to get Jimmy on the line.
Oh, come on.
The brand new
Oh,
daddy.
Did you hang up on him?
I dropped him.
Well, there's more technical difficulty in the shack over there. So I was saying, what if, right? We never left the plantation. I mean, that's the way I believe it is right now.
If you look at the 27 grievances of the Declaration of Independence, I think that we're currently meeting all 27 of them.
Yeah.
And we've been bitching about it for a long time now. And I don't know what else to do. I mean, they do give us the right to change our government.
Yeah. Now, we read them not too long ago on the air, but I need to,
All right.
like most
We
people,
want to know the poundage of the baby. Hang on 1 second.
we got to
Can you
reread
hear
them.
me? Can you hear me? Okay, I'm trying to put you on the air because we want to get the poundage.
You better get that poundage up, Jimmy.
You don't know yet.
What?
What? They don't know yet?
Hold the baby. Step on the scales. Give the baby to somebody else. Step back on the scales.
So, how long ago was it born? Was it born like as soon as you texted Tammy? 208.
208.
So
I'm going to try and get you on there. Hang on 1 second.
we're trying to get Jimmy live on the air here.
Yeah, all right.
Yes. And I don't know.
Trying to get the new daddy on the air.
All right, can you hear us, Jimmy? Jimmy,
No.
can you hear us?
Can you
What
hear
about
us now?
What about now? Can you hear us? Well, I guess this isn't going to work for me.
Oh, man.
Sorry, guys. I don't know.
I know.
I can't.
We need
All
to
right,
practice
well,
that.
I don't know how to get you on the air.
We need
But
to
anyways,
practice that.
We are having
we're talking
technical
about you, so as soon as you
difficulties
know
in
the
the
way we want
booth.
Congratulations. All right, talk to you soon.
See you soon. See you very soon.
All right, my skill set for getting people on the air on the phone
Yeah,
sucks.
that's okay.
I'm going to need to come out and spend some time with Santos and figure this out. But at least I can call out now. So
All right. Well,
I can do something.
step one.
Step one. I don't know why. This is beyond me that I can't get this. Anyways,
So
I tried.
we got a little learning curve going on there, but we'll get it.
Everything's a learning curve
Yeah.
with me.
We're never going to give up.
No, that's true. That's a true statement. Oh boy. So they don't know. They said they give it skin to skin contact with the mom for the first hour. Mm-hmm. So
I don't know about that. It could
We're-
lose a half a pound in that time.
that's what I'm saying.
You
This
know?
is very crucial.
This is a
I'm
crucial.
telling you, I think it was 9-2.
See, and
it's
if it comes in at 8.6, you're going to say
I
it lost.
was on the right
You're going
track.
to say it lost 6 ounces.
Yep.
It was
And
on
I
the
was
right
a-
track, but Bill nailed it.
And we're never going to be able to settle that.
Exactly. Well, we will be able to settle it because I'm right.
Well, it's the baby's on Holly's chest right now. Ask her how much she thinks it weighs.
35 pounds.
What does it feel like? I think it feels like 7 pounds and 6 ounces.
No, it feels like 9.2. I mean, how cool would it be to have a baby on 9.2 that weighs 9.2?
That would be cool, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I think it is, but okay. Telling you, in the pictures, if you look at her tummy, it looks like it could be 35, 40 pounds.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Well, hey, we're going to say that one more conservative born into the world today, right?
yes, definitely.
Yes. It's not going to be a welfare baby.
Oh, no, not with
gonna
those
be
two.
not going to be a liberal Democrat.
The
Probably already got a pistol.
The only thing that I'm worried about is an only child. Well, Jimmy's already got some kids. I think he's got three daughters.
Two daughters.
Two daughters.
This is daughter number 3 for Jimmy.
Okay. So he's a Y chromosome guy. There's no doubt about it.
Remember, we're recording this for the baby.
I got you.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Keep those little wisecracks off the air.
oh boy. So, what was it? I lost my train of thought. Oh, it's an only child because the other siblings are grown anyways.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an only child. Wow. You want to talk about some temper tantrums?
Well, and I can already
You
tell
never
you,
know.
this
You
little
never
girl
know.
is going to be spoiled because I have 2 boys, and I didn't get my little girl until now. So
And then you got Lori in that mix too.
Lori had a girl though.
Yeah, but both of her kids are grown also. Both of your kids are grown also. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
I know on my kitchen table there's 3 little dresses this morning on 3 little pink hangers.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
you want to talk
yeah,
about
the spoiling
spoils?
is gone.
Spoiler,
It's already
yeah,
begun.
Already started. Yeah.
Yeah, it ought to get kind of crazy. That's okay.
Well, we're going to spoil her with love because we don't want to create that entitlement mentality that Pastor Dave was talking about last night.
The one thing that I know is, could you imagine having Tom as a grandpa, me as an uncle, and then Jimmy as a dad?
Why'd you put me in the grandpa spot, man? This gray hair?
It's the gray
or what?
hair. It's the gray hair. Then you got Bill with no hair. That's the other grandpa. So you got Grandpa 1, Grandpa
If you're
2.
already a grandpa, you've earned the
Oh,
title.
yeah.
So
I'm
there
a
you go.
grandpa many
Hey, I'm
times
a
over.
great grandpa.
So then you got me as an uncle who doesn't mind going back to jail. This could get interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch her grow up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
Aspen, he was kidding
About what?
about going back to jail.
Depends on who she dates.
That's true.
Okay, then. So there you go.
Okay. It's a matter of perspective. Depends on who you're talking to.
So this little girl, this is what I believe, that before God created the heavens and the earth, that he already had her on his drawing table, and you and me. Okay, each soul created totally unique. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because he has the ability to see past, present, and future at the same time.
That probably would have been some good information Jimmy would have wanted to have on the day he went to get that vasectomy how many years ago?
Information I could have used back then.
Well, there's a lot of
It's a
guys
good
like
thing
that.
the reversal worked.
Yes, there's a lot of guys
Jimmy?
like that.
Your life is an open book now, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hey, and I'll share a little story. Our youngest son was born, and my wife, we had already had 2 sons, and my wife and I decided that was it. We're not having any more. So she said to me, why don't you go get a vasectomy? And I said, not a chance in hell I'm going to do that. Because there might be a need down the road to repopulate the earth or something. So she decided she was going to do that. So she went in and had it done, had her tubes tied. And here we were 3 months later. I was young father, you know, and I was out cutting firewood in someone's orchard that gave me the wood to heat the house.
Mm-hmm.
And she came out there and said, guess what? We're having another baby. And I said, that's impossible.
Nope. It's not impossible.
Yeah. So, you know, God will do what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so our youngest son was born.
You're just along for the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just
Yep.
along for the ride.
And also, as he was growing up, you could see a special anointing. You know, there's some people that God puts an anointing on, and then you see it to different degrees also.
Yeah.
And that was very visible.
Yeah.
So it's a miracle. Anyway, seeing babies being born into the world are a wonderful gift from God.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting. It's an interesting time to have a brand new newborn, and it's going to be interesting to see this one grow up. I mean, I'm not preoccupied with my own kids anymore so much, so it's going to be interesting to see this one grow up just because we're not so preoccupied.
Well, the bottom line is this, as she's growing up, it's going to be, the parents are going to say, well, Jason said he saw you here, and Bill said he saw you there, and Tammy said she has this to do with you there, on this day.
Hey.
And there you go. That's the village, right?
Yep. That is.
But that ain't Hillary's village.
All I've got to know to tell Aspen is live in fear. Live in fear.
No,
You
that's
mean
to all Aspen's suitors.
Yes.
That's very true.
Yeah.
No motorcycles.
No.
No.
It is.
I don't
it
know.
is-
Jimmy, when I saw him the other night, he said,
Well,
I got to get a motorcycle.
I saw this on our way home the other night from the headquarters, from the Republican headquarters, me and Tammy. And I said, I am just glad we didn't have a daughter. And she's like, but why? And I said, but look at this girl in front of us. And she's on the back of this younger guy.
Crotch rocket?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's zipping in and out of traffic, and he's zipping around the center divide, and then he zips down a side street, and she's like, oh, me too. After I said, just pay attention to what's going on right in front of you.
A girl on the back of a crotch rocket is like you think they're going to launch at any time.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is. I wouldn't want my daughter back there.
It was a nail biter just being behind them, yet alone if that was my own daughter. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No,
But
no.
God, in His wisdom, He gives you the kids that you're supposed to get. I do believe.
I do too.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Whether they're boys or girls.
Because I'm perfectly
Hey,
suited
we
with
still
two boys.
believe in boys and girls here, huh?
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
We do.
There's boys and
Aspen's
girls.
going to be a girl.
Yeah. Aspen
And-
is a girl.
And
Yep.
she's never going to be confused about that fact because
Yeah.
it is a fact. She is a girl.
Yes. Yeah. That's a bona fide fact.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, she's bona fide.
So,
One of those inalienable things that can't be taken away.
Yes.
okay, back to the Yuba Sutter political spotlight. Political spotlight.
Man.
I know.
Do we have a weight yet?
No, not
Yes.
yet. They got an
No.
hour with the mom, and she was
Yes.
born at 2:08. So by 3:15, we should have a win.
Can we break in?
So back to John Mitzler real quick. He is a write-in candidate, but we are throwing our full support behind him because we don't believe Randy Fletcher needs to be the incumbent, needs to be reelected, and I don't think Alton Wright has the power to beat out Randy Fletcher. And so that's where that lies, and then we're really going to put a lot of help behind John Mitzler, and it's just like the song says that we got opening for him of a revolution's coming. I believe there is one coming. I really, really do with this election believe there's a revolution coming with the people we're going to get elected, and I believe we can really change some stuff with that.
There has to be.
Well, we're at the end of our rope.
Well,
I mean,
we
we have
are.
to. We got to get some change in here, otherwise we're going to sink.
And we have to go to smaller government and constitutional government.
Constitutional government.
Where the role of government is to look over the civil rights of the people. Now that means the guy that you don't like, he's got his civil rights too.
You mean an
And
irritant?
the guy that's a
an
repulse
irritant?
to you,
Yep.
maybe, he's got his civil rights.
Well, you know, I'm a big fan of whenever somebody says, "Well, you know, they need to outlaw that." Well, be careful, because whenever you're willing to give somebody else's rights away, it's not a far step to give some of your own rights away in that same deal.
That's right.
I mean, once they take, like private property rights, you don't look as marijuana as private property rights. But the minute you tell that guy that and I'm not a marijuana guy at all. You guys all know that. But the fact is the minute that you tell somebody that they can't grow marijuana on their private property, it's not a far step to say you can't grow tomatoes on your private property.
Hey, I'm with you on that.
Or if
Jason.
you do, we're going to come in and check them.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, I mean, you got to be really, really careful, folks, whenever you start giving other people's rights away, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
The minute that you're willing to give that guy's rights away, you better be very, very careful, because you don't know what rights of yours you're giving away.
Yep. And I'm not a marijuana user or a marijuana fan, okay? But if it can be used, and I hear plenty of people that talk about that they use it as a salve and whatever, okay? The bottom line for me is I don't believe the government needs to be involved in it.
Exactly.
Period.
You got a problem with
Yeah.
your neighbor, deal with your neighbor.
Yeah. I
You
don't.
know?
I don't believe they need to tax it. I don't want to see it promoted like that. Is there anything the government doesn't want to stick their nose in? That's
Got
about.
it.
That's,
If there is, don't tell them, because they'll surely stick
Yes.
their nose in it.
yes. So, like, I believe the next thing on their agenda is to tax the sun.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
With that solar controller we have up at the property, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
With the information that it's retrieving and putting out in an IP address or a MAC address that's on it, trust me, that's the next thing that's coming. They want a piece of everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just like extortion. I mean, it really
is extortion.
If you're going to operate, you're going to pay us what we deem
Yeah.
fit to be paid. So,
Plunder. That's the word. Plunder.
Plunder.
like I say, in our two counties, I think we have some real hope. I really, really do. I'm really
Yes.
excited about the city council race. I'm really excited about the sheriff race. And I'm really excited about the John Missler race over here.
The people that get elected to represent the interest of the people, they're going to have the Spaldings.
Oh, man,
Yes.
are they ever.
And some people, some positions will need to be eliminated.
Yeah.
We don't need the duplication.
No.
Yeah. And the soft jobs. So there it is.
But, and I mean, this is my big thing that I keep summoning back to on city council is I'm so excited because the fact is Yuba City City Council, 3 seats are up for election. There's only 5 people that sit on the council. It only takes a 3-2 vote to change stuff. We get 3 new city councilmen. We Chuck Buck can stand, done, and we get somebody, we get Mark Boomgarden and Dave Shaw for sure. And then if we could get Stacy Brookman in there, man, I'm telling you what, we've got something. The people have won.
We've
and
got
I mean
a
just
direction, yeah.
and I mean literally it would be an overnight flop from what we have right now to the people are back in the driver's seat just that quick. I mean, that's amazing. That's what really I really, really like about our system and the way it's in place and the way the founding fathers did it is be careful, because overnight there could be a flop in a shift in the system, just like with getting Trump elected. You don't think there was some God in that did that and got him elected? Well, I got news for you. There was. And it shifted the way America was run overnight. And we could see the same thing right here in Yuba City, Marysville area. See a shift in the way these counties and cities are run with just an overnight election. So, regardless of what you think of the Constitution or how much you know about it or how much you don't know about it, the power is still with the people if they will just flex the power.
Yes, and the people, they need to educate themselves on history.
Yeah.
history is crucial.
Well, or you're doomed to repeat it. Isn't that what it says?
Yeah.
Those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, it's a lot better than watching the boob tube, man.
Oh,
I mean,
Well, if you do watch a boob tube, watch history.
yeah, but not revisionist
No,
history.
no.
All right. Well, to start affecting this change, people, you all need to come out on Friday night, September 7th, to support Mark Boomgarden for City Council over at the Republican headquarters at 441 Bridge Street in Yuba City at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock Friday night. So don't miss that.
Wow, Tammy, man, you got right back in the game there. I thought you were lost in space.
She
No,
is.
I was-
She just has got a
but-
countdown on her
but-
computer
but-
now when we're going to leave.
Man, she's
Yeah.
on it.
Well, I was put at ease because I was telling Jimmy, don't you let our baby out of your sight. If they want to take the baby to the nursery, he goes, it's okay. Everything's done in the room. The baby doesn't leave the mommy. And I'm like, okay, good. Okay, thank you.
Oh, wow.
So now I'm at ease. So, yes, come out, support Mark Boomgarden, Yuba Sutter Republican headquarters.
Constitutional Republicans.
Yes.
Yes.
Sponsored by the Yuba Sutter Constitutional Republicans. September 7th, this Friday night, 7 o'clock.
And we will have a liquor license by then.
We do, yeah. Well, I just got to go pick it up.
Oh,
But
okay,
yes,
so it's ready to go.
We're ready to go. I just got to go pick them up.
Awesome.
We've
So
got
that'll
all
be a
of them
good
lined
time.
up.
Be a good time. Come down, have a drink, listen to Mark talk. It's going to be interesting. I think he's going to, like I said, I think he's going to be a really good city councilman along with Dave Shaw. So that's it. Tammy's already out
We
the
love
door.
you.